Today we're looking at data center policy, electricity costs, and Microsoft's plan to make people a little less angry about AI and electricity. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. 2026 is an election year, and it's been clear for some time that AI was going to find its way into the political discourse. The odds-on bet for how it does make it there is less about AI itself, although there's plenty of issues that people have, and more about the broader theme, which is very clearly going to dominate this election cycle, which is affordability. In short, to the extent that data centers are perceived to be a contributor to higher costs of living for Americans, those data centers and the larger AI industry are going to have a not-so-fun time politically. Indeed, as he goes after a number of different affordability issues, Donald Trump has turned his attention and his Truth Social account on this particular one as well. On Monday, he wrote, "I never want Americans to pay higher electricity bills because of data centers. Therefore, my administration is working with major American technology companies to secure their commitment to the American people, and we will have much to announce in the coming weeks. First up is Microsoft, who my team has been working with, and which will make major changes beginning this week to ensure that Americans don't pick up the tab for their power consumption in the form of paying higher utility bills. We are the hottest country in the world and #1 in AI. Data centers are key to that boom and keeping Americans free and secure, but the big technology companies who build them must pay their own way. Thank you and congratulations to Microsoft. More to come soon." Now, it is way beyond the scope of this headlines episode to get into the full complexity of why electricity costs are up and what percentage of it is actually from AI, but frankly, I think all of those are completely losing political arguments, and all that matters is basically exactly what President Trump is getting at here, which is the perception of whether the big companies are not only picking up the tab for themselves, but perhaps even paying a little bit more to try to make this viable for everyone else. Now, people have been talking about this type of policy for a while. Investor Chamath Palihapitiya started tweeting about it somewhere in the middle of last year and kept it up throughout the fall, for example, in October, writing, "The hyperscalers should take the electricity costs of local residents to zero and start buying goodwill. Otherwise, I expect more local communities to push back on these data centers, which will complicate the AI build-out that needs to happen." So what did Microsoft actually announce? In a blog post on Tuesday from Vice Chair and President Brad Smith, the company wrote about a 5-part plan to build what they're calling community-first AI infrastructure. They write that the plan commits them to concrete steps needed to be a good neighbor in the communities where they build, own, and operate their data centers. So what are the 5 parts of their plan? The first is that they'll pay their own way to ensure their data centers don't increase other people's electricity prices. Basically, they say they're going to pay utility rates that are high enough to cover their electricity costs and make sure it doesn't get passed on to the communities in which they're operating. Pillar 2 is they commit to trying to minimize their water use and replenish even more of the community's water than they use. Pillar 3 is to create jobs for residents. Pillar 4 is to add to the tax base to fund local hospitals, schools, parks, and libraries. And Pillar 5 is to strengthen the community by investing in local AI training and nonprofits. Now, it's totally easy to be cynical about any corporate initiative like this, but for my money, this is exactly the type of thing that needs to happen from all of the big tech companies who are in the midst of this infrastructure build-out. Frankly, I think it's a complete own goal that with something like this, where there is so much opportunity for these data centers to actually be good for the communities that they're in, that we have completely missed that boat until now. I'm glad to see Microsoft taking this on, and frankly, I think they can go even farther. I think Chamath is right. I think they should be going way beyond just paying their own share, and frankly, just buying the goodwill of the community that they're in. Ultimately, that is such a small fraction of the cost of these data centers that doing it, to me, just seems like a no-brainer. Still, this is good progress, and I want to encourage Microsoft and everyone else in a similar space to double down on this type of initiative. Now, moving over to a story that has been up and down and over and under and never quite clear, on Tuesday, Reuters reported that Chinese customs officials have told customs agents that NVIDIA's H200 chips are not permitted to enter the country. Their sources said that tech companies were also summoned to meetings where they were explicitly told not to order chips unless necessary. One of the Reuters sources commented, "The wording from the officials is so severe that it is basically a ban for now, though this might change in the future should things evolve." Now, the information has a slightly different sourcing on the story, who said that the directive from Beijing was, quote, deliberately vague. They said that the imports were limited to special circumstances, which included university research and R&D. Both reports used the word necessary to describe the limitations, but the difference was in how each source interpreted the CCP directive. Later that day, the U.S. Commerce Department finalized their approval for H200 exports, but also with a few conditions. The chips will be inspected by a third-party testing lab to confirm their AI capabilities before they can be shipped to China. NVIDIA is also limited to shipping 50% as many chips to China as they sell to U.S. customers. On the Chinese side of the deal, customers will need to demonstrate quote-unquote sufficient security procedures and cannot use the chips for military purposes. In a statement, NVIDIA said that the approval, quote, strikes a thoughtful balance that is great for America, And yet, while all that paperwork is finalized, it's unclear if NVIDIA can actually start shipping anytime soon due to the Beijing bans. Some China analysts do believe this is a power play in the lead up to trade negotiations in April. Geopolitical strategist Reva Gojin writes, Beijing is pushing to see what bigger concessions they can get to dismantle US-led tech controls. Chris McGuire, a senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations, commented, Beijing believes the US is desperate to sell AI chips to China, so it believes China has the leverage to extract concessions from the US in exchange for license approvals. Now, it's an open question whether the Trump administration is desperate to sell AI chips, but the potential for an NVIDIA-led stock market drawdown during an election year could be a motivating factor. Staying on the chip train, chip-making startup Cerebras is in talks to raise $1 billion at a $22 billion valuation. Bloomberg sources confirmed that fundraising efforts were underway but added no major details. The company was aiming to IPO last year but scuttled plans in October shortly after completing a fundraising round at an $8 billion valuation. Sources said the company still plans to IPO, with rumors suggesting the aim is to go public in the second half of this year. In M&A land, OpenAI has acquired a tiny health tech startup called Torch. The company operates a platform to unify medical records, including lab results, prescriptions, and appointment notes, while storing them in a format that's easily discoverable for AI. Co-founder Ilya Abazov wrote, We designed Torch to be a unified medical memory for AI, bringing every bit of data about you from hospitals, labs, wearables, and consumer testing companies into one place. I can't imagine a better next chapter than to now get to put our technology and ideas in the hands of the hundreds of millions of people who already use ChatGPT for health questions every week. Now, OpenAI didn't announce the value of the acquisition, but sources speaking with the information said the price tag was $100 million paid in OpenAI equity. Not bad for a 4-person team. Lots cooking as always in the world of AI, but for now, that is going to do it for the headlines. Next up, the main episode.